Good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this beautiful evening? This is the first day of the week that the Lord has made. Come on in, come on in. Your brother Tony is in the house, and it's dinner time. Come to the dinner table, my brother and sister, because we are going to feast tonight. We have something good on the menu, and you don't want to miss what's on the menu. So come in. I hope that you all are ready to receive this good soul food, my brother and sister, because it will bless you. A lot of people want to know about this particular topic that I was going to discuss, and I'm going to discuss it tonight. So come on in, come on in, come on in. My brother and sister, I would like for you all to know that I'm talking on two different platforms. I'm talking on the book, and I'm talking on the tube. If you're on the book, if I talk to someone on the tube, you may not see their comments, okay? And those of you that are on the tube, when I talk to someone on the book, you may not see their comments. So I don't want you all thinking that I'm just talking to ghosts, okay? How you doing, Sister Ingrid? I see that you're in the house. Sister Ingrid said some people don't grow out of the player lifestyle. Yes, we're about to get into it tonight, my sisters. So come on in, my brothers. Come on in, sisters, so we can discuss this thing about multiple partners. If this is your first time on the broadcast, my brother and sister, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship from a biblical standpoint. When I say a biblical standpoint, I believe strongly that God had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman Eve. Thirdly, he presented the woman to Adam. Fourth, the man Adam proclaimed in front of God, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. That's the position I come from. However, if you decided to come to the dinner table, I want you all to know that you have what is called a free will. You could do whatever you choose to do with a relationship, but I tell you, the best way to do it is God's way. So God's way is a pattern in the Bible, and God, he created the man first, he created the woman, and that's how God basically had it. When he brought the animals to Adam, he brought male and female. So that's kind of where I'll be coming from. Okay, so I want you all to get ready for this particular topic tonight. How you doing, Sister Teresa Thomas? Welcome to the dinner table. How you doing, Sister Yolanda? Welcome to the dinner table. So come on in, come on in. We're about to jump into this shortly. Now, tonight's topic, my brothers, and tonight's topic is, what does God think about multiple partners? How you doing, Sister Val? Welcome to the dinner table. What does God think about multiple partners? Okay. Now, when it comes to what are multiple partners, multiple mean more than one. Is it natural for a man to have more than one woman? Is it natural for a woman to have more than one man? Now, we'll talk about what is natural. Now, what way is the best way? Is God's way the best way, or man's way the best way when it comes to getting into a relationship with another man or another woman? How you doing, Sister Greta? Welcome to tonight's dinner table. Come on in, my brother and sister. Come on in so you can get some of this good soul food. Go ahead and invite some more of the family members and friends. You friends, you in for a treat tonight. And I want you friends that this might be your first time. If it's something that you want to say, by all means, you can say whatever you want to say. So we're here. If you all want to call in, I could take your call, the call-in number. If you want to talk now, remember to stay on the subject. If you want to call in and talk to the other brothers and sisters, the number is 470-632-7264. Again, if you want to call in while at the dinner table, because when it's dinner table, we family, so we can talk. Okay. Remember, if you want to call in, I'm giving you access to come on and voice your thoughts on this particular topic. The number again is 470-632-7264. But let's get back into the topic. Those of you that are at the dinner table on the menu, when you open your menu, what we got It's very hot. It's what does God think about a multiple partners? When we think about multiple partner in today's society, we don't call it too much multiple partner. We're going to call it what it is. We're going to call it being a player. Okay. Thank you, Sister Teresa. We're going to call it being a player. Now, what is a player? When I looked in the dictionary, let me read it clearly to you. Some of you all have an idea what a player is, but I'm going to read it to you from the dictionary. The dictionary defines it as someone who fakes a serious degree or romantic interest while often conducting several similar relationships simultaneously. It is a deceptive and a manipulative way by dealing with people. Okay, how you doing, Sister Sherry E. Smith? Remember, my brother and sister, the topic is what does God think about multiple partner, but we're going to call it player. Or what is a player? Again, it's someone that fakes. That's the key word. It's someone that fakes a degree of romantic interest while also conducting several similar relationships simultaneously. But it is basically in a deceptive way, my brother and sister. Basically, it's a form of deception. Now, when it gets to dealing with more than one person, my brother and sister, now some people, they will look at the Bible. And when someone look at the Bible, they will see, as a matter of fact, some people did start focus on King David, and then they'll focus with Solomon. Some may hit Samson. But before that, the first original playboy in the Bible, it's in Genesis. It's in Genesis, and his name was Lamech, something like that. It's in Genesis. If I pronounce the name wrong, just go to Genesis and you'll see it. This guy, he had 2 wives. It's the first documented case of a man having more than one woman. It's in Genesis. This guy, he had 2 wives. Now, some people would say it got to be okay. God allowed for a man to deal with more than one woman. And why, if it's not right, why did God allow it to be? Let's go back. How you doing, Sister Kendra? Let's go back to when God first created man and woman, okay? When God first created the man and a woman, if you notice, when God created Adam, it was one man. When he created Eve, it was one woman. Now, if God wanted to, he could have created more than one woman for Adam. If he chose to, he could have. Or vice versa. He could have had a whole bunch of men and one woman, which is Eve. How you doing, Sister Flo? And how you doing, Sister Yolanda? What chapter, Sister Yolanda? It's the early part of Genesis. Just put, Sister Yolanda, what you need to do is, like, if you Google it, put in who had multiple wives, Genesis, and that'll probably pull it up. Who had multiple wives, Genesis, and the Bible would give you the answer to that question. Because this one guy, he had 2 wives. But so back to what I was saying. When a man had more than one woman, and a woman had more than one man, does God really want a man to entertain more than one woman? And does God really want a woman to entertain more than one man? Now, it is clear that God allowed it. But does that mean that was part of God? Well, God allowed a lot of things to happen. If you look in the Bible, my brother and sister, God allowed man and woman to exercise. That's it, Teresa. Teresa got the name. That's right. It's Lamech. I hope that I pronounce it right. It's Lamech. Again, that Lamech. This is the first original guy in the Bible that had more than one woman. Now, brother, let me talk to you first, brothers. When you deal with more than one woman, my question to any of you brothers that deal with more than one woman, can you honestly say that you satisfy every woman. And I'm not talking about sexually all the time. How you doing, Sister Deborah? I'm not talking about totally sexually. And my sister, my question to you, if you're dealing with more than one man, can you satisfy more than one man? Sister Flo said God allowed a lot of things to happen. Yes, he did. God allowed a lot of things to happen, my brother and sister, because he gave us what is called a free will. Just because God allowed things to happen, that doesn't mean that that's part of his will. But God will be done, but God work around anything that we do, but his will going to be done. Now, when it comes back to what God think about multiple partners, God original idea, my brothers, God original idea, my sister, is for a man to have one woman. That's God original idea. God original idea, sister, is for you to have one man. Anything outside of that, when you look at God's word, my brother and sister, any man that had more than one woman, if you really study it, that man ran into a whole lot of problems. Even a woman that were dealing with more than one man, a succession of men, they normally had one problem. And I'm going to give you some names. First of all, the men that had problem when they had more than one woman, we're going to say King David. When King David had more than one woman, he had problems. And we could look at something that's real clear. When he decided to bring Bathsheba into the fold, remember Bathsheba, she was married to Uriah the Hittite. She was not David's original wife. David was already married and he already had concubines before he started dealing with Bathsheba. So when he recruited Bathsheba, David called. I could go into this deeper, but I really don't have that much time. You all can read it. David had Bathsheba's husband killed, and he married Bathsheba. So David, in his own, he had problems when he had more than one woman. Let's go to David's son, King Solomon. King Solomon, as you all know, King Solomon had 1,000 women, and I'm not exaggerating. He had 700 wives, and the other three was like concubines. So Solomon actually had 1,000 women, and this is not no exaggeration. If you look in the Bible, it's going to show you. Now, what can one man do with 1,000 women? Just think about it, my brother. What can one man do with 1,000 women? And then Jesus talked to a woman at the well. She had several husbands. And when she was talking to Jesus, Jesus said that the man that you're living with, he's not your husband. Now, let me tell you, on the flip side, too, when it was more than one woman to one man, it was some flare-ups with the women. For example, Sarah, Abraham's wife, she bumped head with Hagar. Hagar was Sarah's maid. As you all know the story, Hagar, she got pregnant by Abraham. Sarah taught Abraham into doing it, and he went ahead and done it. He shouldn't have done it. So that's what, and we all know what happened, right? So Hagar and Sarah, they clashed. They clashed to the point where as Hagar had to leave. Abraham told Sarah, that's your maid, you do whatever you want to do. And she had a son by Abraham. So Sarah kicks Hagar out. And then there was another thing too what happened. There was Leah and Rachel. Those was Jacob wife. As you know, Jacob is Israel. Leah, she was not that good looking. But Rachel, she was beautiful. So there was jealousy. Even though she had most of Jacob or Israel's children, he point blank let everyone knew that he was in love with the younger sister, Rachel. Because the Bible say that it that Rachel was easy for the eyes. And like Teresa, she got two sisters too, right here, Hannah and Pina, something like that. Those two ladies, they had confusion too. So the Bible showing you, my brothers, and the Bible showing you, my sister, that whenever there are multiple partners in a relationship, there is more than likely going to be some conflict. And when there's going to be some conflict, let me tell you this. Let me just be straight to the point. Brother, if you're dealing with more than one woman, you can't love one, you can't love every woman on the same level. Sister, you can't love every man on the same level. Sister, I want you all to know this. If you are one of the women that a man is dealing with, you are either number one, as far as the woman go, most women want to be number one. Most women want to be number one. But sister, more than likely, if there are multiple women, the chance of you being number one is slim to none. Now, you may call yourself number one. He may tell you number one. But when a man got more than one woman, you better believe one of them is the apple of that man's eye. And brother, the same thing too. If a woman is dealing with more than one man, you may want to be number one, but that's not no guarantee that you're going to be number one if she's dealing with more than one man. There's no way. Someone is going to get the short end of the stick. Some of you sisters that are dating a man, and let's talk. Those some of you sisters that may be dating a married man right now. Okay, you may be dating a married man, or if you're not dating a married man, you may call yourself dating a man that's quote unquote in a relationship with another woman. If a man has a wife and he's living with his wife and he has no intent on actually physically moving out the house, you need to know this, sister, you're not number one. For example, a lot of you have seen the movie Ray Charles, right? You all seen the movie Ray Charles starring Jamie Foxx. You seen that, right? You remember the side woman that was in the band, right? She wanted Jamie, that played the part of Ray, to leave his precious be. What did Ray Charles, what did he say? He basically said, you must be crazy. You knew the rules. That's what he told the lady. You knew the rules. I'm not leaving my B. Some of you all looked at that movie called Waiting to Exhale, right? You remember the man that Whitney Houston was dating, the married guy. Remember, she came out one day, he was talking on the phone to his wife, right? And he gave her some stuff like he's staying up basically for the children. But let me tell you that's if a man really don't want to be with his wife, he could still take care of his children and move out. So that's a bunch of crap. I'm going to tell you this too, sister. If a man is living with his woman and he said him and his woman basically are not being physically active with one another, majority of the time that's a lie. Now, it may be true. They may be sleeping in different rooms. It may be true. However, majority of the time, some of you sisters, you need to take the blinders off your eyes. If you the side woman or one of the side women, more than likely, he's touching his wife or the woman that he's living with. You brothers, let me tell you this. If you're dealing with a woman that's married, don't think her husband is not touching her. Now, sometimes they may not be. Sometimes they may be sleeping in different rooms, but a lot of time those husbands gonna touch their wife. So I'm telling you, that my brother and sister, if you are aware, sister, that this man got a wife or he's dealing with another woman, brother, if you know that this woman got a husband or dealing with another man, meaning she might be living with him, or the terminology, what this terminology is, it's situationship. If a man or woman in a situationship, you are not number one. So Teresa said, I would want to be touched. Amen. You see, let me tell you, my brothers, let me tell you something, my sister. When you decide to get in a relationship with other people outside of your relationship, remember the topic. What does God think about multiple partners? He really doesn't like it. You know why God really doesn't like it? The reason why God really doesn't like it is because when he created a man and he created a woman, he created that man and woman to be one. That's what God did. Now, can one woman, and let's be realistic, can one woman fulfill one man 100%? Can one man fulfill one woman 100%? The question to that is no. No woman can totally make a man 100% happy. No man can totally make a woman 100% happy. You know why? Because of the fallen nature element when Adam and Eve rebelled against God. So a man and woman a lot of times always gonna think that he or she missing something. But you see, what a man and woman needs to do is first of all have a relationship with God through his son Jesus Christ. And if a man and a woman have a relationship with God's son Jesus Christ, they are filling an empty void. Most of the time, my brothers, and most of the time, my sister, when a man is dealing with more than one woman, or a woman dealing with more than one man, there is a void that he or she is trying to fill. That's what it basically is. There is a void. Now, when we break it down to the United States of America, the Western culture and stuff like that, the Western culture have give a man permission to have more than one woman. You see, if a man in the Western world is deemed as a man that have more than one man, that man will get a pat on his back, he will get a high five, and he will be saying he's the man. Because that's what our culture is. Our culture is a man, let a man be a man. So it ain't no big thing if a man have more than one woman, as long as he taking care of home. That's the thing. But if a woman does the same identical thing, a woman will be classified as a harlot. It doesn't take but a woman to be known to be dealing with more than one man to be classified as a harlot. And you all know what a harlot is, I hope. So that, or a street woman, I'm trying to be nice, or a street woman. And she get all kinds of names, even though she's doing the same thing as a man is doing. Now, when you deal with more than one person, it's a proven fact that you're going to have problems. Brother, let me tell you what's going to happen when you deal with more than one woman. Let's say you trying your best, brother, to be fair to everyone. You trying your best to be fair to every woman that you're dealing with. All you could do is try, but you will never succeed. You will never succeed because, brother, when you dealing with a woman, one woman, you got to deal with her emotion, let alone more than one. You got to deal with another woman. And if you have a multiple amount of women, you got to deal with different emotional needs. That's the first thing you're going to have to deal with, different emotional needs. And believe me, let me tell you something, brother. Every woman that you are basically dealing with, if they get soul tied to you, those women going to want to be number one in your life. Sister Yolanda, she found in Genesis 4:19. That's right, about this guy that had two wives. God allowed him to do it. God didn't give him his stamp of approval, but God allowed him to do it. So I'm telling you, sister, if you put yourself into that position to be, and you realize that this man got a wife, or you realize that this man is living with someone, or this man got quote unquote a girlfriend, you walking in knowing that you're not number quote unquote one. Brother, if you know that this woman have a husband, or she's staying with someone or dealing with someone, you know that you're not number one. So let me tell you, those of you that's going into a relationship with someone that you already know somebody else in a relationship, why are you getting all bent out of shape when this person say he or she can't be with you? You already knew, like Ray Charles said, you already knew the rules. You already knew what was going on. So if you already know what was going on, why would you get upset? Let me tell you something, how pissed off God got one time. When Moses went up into the mountain to get the 10 commandments, the Israelite, the Bible said they was playing and everything. They had even made an idol. When Moses came down with the 10 commandments, he seen all this stuff. He threw the tablet down and broke it. Do you not realize, my brother and sister, on that one particular day, 23,000 died on that one day. 23. They were doing idolatry and fornication. They was wilding out. So God caused 23,000 Israelites to die in one day. That's right. Idolatry, and to top it off, fornication. They was wilding out. And you see, God wanted them to be married. And we all know that God, when it comes to physical affection between a man and woman, God wants the man and woman to be married. Now going back to the Bible, he allowed David to do it too. Why he allowed David to do it, you got to ask him. Why he allowed Solomon to do it, you got to ask God. Why he allowed Samson to do it, you got to ask Samson, because we know those three men, they had problem when they had more than one woman. We know it. And brother, you are no exception to the rule. Brother, if you got this one woman that you call your main woman, and then you vow to another woman that she's your woman too, you about to have some problem. Especially if that outside woman, get in tune to you. Let me tell you this, brother. This is the typical thing. You go out and you see a woman, and you let that woman know straight up that you got a wife, or you got a girlfriend, or somebody you're dealing with. You let that woman know. At the early part, she may accept it. She may say, okay, I'm cool with it. And that's at the beginning. But as time goes on, and you doing your best to impress that woman, and you doing things that she really enjoys, guess what? Something inside that woman's heart is going to rise up, and she's going to want more. She's going to want more. Because she thinking what you doing with that main woman, she going to eventually don't want you to do it no more with that main woman. She going to want you. So even though, brother, you call yourself being honest with this outside woman, the outside women, eventually, if they is so tired of you, they going to want to move into the number one slot. And then some of you sisters, you got a husband or you got a boyfriend or whatever, and you dealing with this outside man. Men can get soul tied too. This one man gets soul tied to you, and he might want you to leave your husband or your boyfriend or whatever because he done got soul tied to you. And I'm going to tell you this too, some of you brothers. You need to be aware of this, brother. If you decide to deal with a woman on the outside, what make you think she's going to be loyal to you? Some of you guys that got a wife or a girlfriend or you're in a situationship, the woman on the outside, in your mind, you thinking that this woman going to be loyal to you. Why do you think this woman going to be loyal to you? And the same thing, sister, you dealing with a man on the outside. You got a husband or a boyfriend or a situationship. What make you think this man on the outside is going to be loyal to you? For some reason, some of you brothers think the outside woman going to be 100% loyal to you. Most of the time, they will not. Now, you have a few that might call themselves being faithful to you. And some of you sisters, you may have some, but very rare is a man going to be faithful to you. Let me tell you what's going to happen, brother. A woman that start being soul tied to you and you don't want to leave your wife or your quote unquote significant other, she's going to get fed up. She's going to get fed up, and then she's going to start seeing somebody on the side or some people on the side. So you got to understand it, brother. When a woman start wanting to be number one, when she wants to be promoted and you're not promoting her to number one, eventually she's going to get tied up and she's going to start seeing someone on the outside. And the same thing too, sister, the man that's soul tied to you and you're not leaving your husband or your significant other, your situationship, eventually he's going to do it. So I want you all to know this, the brothers and sisters, if you want to be a player, if you want to play the game of being a player, you got to understand the rules of being a player. When you decide to be a player, guess what? That person got cards too that's in his or her hand. They sit down at the poker table with you, and they got a hand too. So why would you expect loyalty out of someone on the outside? Sister Ashford said, Tony, this stuff can get messy and dangerous. I know people that have their life taken over a situation like this. Amen. Teresa said, right when a woman is fed up. That's right. That's right, sister. That's right. I'm telling you. Like Sister Ashford said, it can get messy. It can get to the point where you lose your life. You all, if you don't know no one firsthand, you have heard on the news or you have heard it out there where someone got killed. Someone got killed because of some action going on the outside. Why did it have to happen? No, it didn't have to happen. Because you see, what happened is that man that's married or he with a woman, that side woman, he thought that she wouldn't do nothing. And the same thing, that woman, she thought that her side dude wouldn't do nothing. But when emotions are involved, my brothers, when emotions are involved, my sister, that's right, Sister Reese, domestic violence is up. I mean, it can cause a whole bunch of things to go south. And not only that, let's say, for example, a man lies to a woman that he ain't in no relationship, or he's about to break up. He's going through a divorce, and he know he doesn't have no intention of leaving his wife, but he lies to this outside woman. So he lies to this outside woman, and he give her false hope. But if you are the outside woman, and this man already telling you whether you know it's a lie or not, if it appear to be true, Why are you going to get in a relationship with a man that's going through a divorce? He needs to be completely finished with the divorce. If a man is separated, he's still in a relationship with his wife. Don't you know that they can reconcile? And the same thing too, brother. Why would you believe a woman that said she going through a divorce with a husband? If she going through a divorce, wait till she get finished with it. If she separated, she's still married. And a lot of times that stuff go down too. It's gonna be a man separated from his wife or a woman separated from her husband, and you want to be the boyfriend or girlfriend. You don't run into their mate, but when you run into the mate, it could be something going down. Let me tell you all something that happened to me years ago. Let me tell you, and some of you have heard it before. Let me tell you what happened. Many years ago, I called myself seeing this young damsel, okay? This damsel, okay? I'm not gonna say in the stress, but this young damsel. So I liked the lady. I liked her a lot, but it was something about her I just could not put my finger on. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it was something about it. I was saying to myself, she is a nice lady. We had good conversation, and a lot of things we was okay. So one particular night we went out to dinner, right? And when we went out to dinner, we were sitting down talking. And as we were sitting down talking, she slipped up, which made me start drilling her, right? And I said, and we were seeing each other. It had to be maybe we was probably 6 months, right? Probably around about 6 months. So, but it was something gnawing at me. I just could not put my finger on it. So let me tell you that when I first met her, she told me she was single. That's what she told me. She said she's single, but she didn't tell me the rest of it. But she told me she was single. So we got to the restaurant and she slipped up and something said, go in on her, Tony. So I went in on her. I said, I want to ask you a question. She said, well, I said, are you married? And she said, then she started talking about other stuff. I let her say whatever she wanted to say. And when she paused, I said, are you married? And she didn't want to answer. She started talking about something else. So the third time I said, look, I don't want to hear nothing else you got to say. Are you or are you not married? Let me know right now. And she said, kind of, sort of. I said, what you mean by kind of, sort of? She said, this is how it is. I'm down here, south. And my husband, he live up north. He has a girlfriend. We haven't been together in years. So it's just like I'm single. I said, no, it's not just like you single. You still married to a man, even though he's up north. So you say with a lady. I said, we're at this restaurant. I said, while we're at this restaurant eating, I said, this world is large. I said, the world is large, but yet it's small. I said, we here having a night, thought we were having a nice dinner. And I said, a man could come through that door. Your husband could come through that door. I don't know nothing about it. And when he comes to over here, it could be some problems. I said, what you should have done, you should have told me that you was married and let me make the decision whether I want to deal with you or not. I said, that's what you should have done. You should have gave me a choice. But I already knew if she was going to tell me she's going to get married, I know it wasn't going to be too much of nothing anyway. I already knew that. But you see the thing about it, you see my point? She should have let me know what type of relationship. So ladies lie too. A lot of ladies think that men, they take their wedding rings off and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of ladies say men lie all the time about being married. It's women out there that do the same thing. They lie about whether they're married or not. Not only do men do like this, not only do men take their rings off, women take their rings off too. They do. They take their rings off. So it's a whole, It's a whole lot of men that lie that they are in a relationship, and there's a whole lot of women that lie that they're in a relationship. And let me tell you what happened when stuff like this happen. When all sins happen, let me tell you this. How you doing, Sister Lewis? Separated, yeah, separated is married. That's what a lot of you brothers and sisters, you need to understand. If a man or woman is separated, they still married. I don't understand why a lot of, I mean, I hate to say this, some of my brothers and sisters, you don't understand. Some of you don't understand that. Some of you are waiting for that man and woman to get a divorce. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that this man's sister tell you that he's about to get a divorce, and he is about to get a divorce, but you seeing him in the meantime. Brother, let's say that this woman said that she's getting a divorce, but you seeing her during the meantime. You seeing her, right? However, they get a divorce, and they get with you, and they start seeing someone else, and you want to cry foul. Why do you want to cry foul? Brother, you knew that woman. You were seeing that woman when she was married. What make you think that she was going to be faithful to you? What make you think you were an exception to the rule? Sister, the same thing. That man that was married to a woman and you were seeing him during that time, what make you think that he was going to be loyal to you? The outside man and woman, when you get involved with someone that's already in a relationship, what make you think that they're going to be loyal to you? How you doing, Sister Michelle? Michelle said, a lot don't understand being sacred to God covenant is vital. That's right, sister. So let me tell you this, my brother and sister. If you decide, those of you that are married, and you decide to see someone on the outside, you need to realize this. Don't look for that person to be loyal to you. Don't look for the person to be loyal to you, because you're not loyal to your partner. So you need to have the attitude, if you're going to go down that road, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, brother, those of you that are married, or you got your little girlfriend and you got this side woman, if you find out that this side woman got a man and you go over her house or something and you see another car, why you want to get into a fight with that guy and stuff like that? Oh, because you paying her rent or her mortgage, or you paying her car note. You see another man driving that car and you want to fight. Why are you doing that? Why you want to go to jail, or why you want to lose your life and you know what you was doing wrong anyway? Some of you sisters, the same thing. You know that man got a wife or a girlfriend. Why you want to fight? Why you want to go up this man at a restaurant and you go up and start talking to him and you say, who this? And then what a lot of ladies do, not all ladies, why would you want to attack the woman? This is what I'm trying to understand. Why ladies, a lot of ladies, not all ladies, why is it that you want to jump on the other lady? Why you want to call that other lady a female version of a dog? And you all know what I'm talking about. Why you want to do that? So you and that woman fussing and fighting, and the man get up and walk away, or he let y'all do that thing. Or somebody lose his or her life over some stuff like that. So if you want to be a player, players lose too. A player lose too. There's not one player that got a 100% success rate over someone, whether it's male or female. If you want to be a player, go ahead and play. But you see, you playing Russian roulette. And we all know what the game of Russian roulette is like, right? Russian roulette is when, if you don't know what Russian roulette is, it's when you put one bullet in the chamber of a revolver, and you spin the chamber, and you put it up to your head and click. That's Russian roulette. There's a lot of you brothers, and I'm talking brother. I ain't talking about these worldly men. I ain't talking about these worldly men. I'm talking about brothers. I'm talking about sisters. You doing this. You better be careful when you're dealing with the outside people because of the soul tie factor. Yeah, Sister Yolanda said, God will expose you. He would do it. You don't know when he's going to do it. And when he does it, you're going to try to fix it, but it can't be fixed. Let me tell you something from God's word. Proverbs 126. Proverbs 126. Proverbs 126. God's word say, I in turn will laugh when your disaster strike you. I will mark when your calamities overtake you. You see what God's saying? God's saying in Proverbs 126, I in turn will laugh. God himself said, I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to laugh when disaster strike you. God said, I'm going to laugh at you. I will mark when your calamities overtake you. And then in Proverbs 128, Proverbs 128, God say, then they will call me, but I will not answer. They will look for me, but will not find me. You see those some chilling words from God. The first part, God said, I'm going to laugh at you. And then the second part, God said, when you call me, I'm not going to answer you. That's right, Michelle. God is a God of justice. God, when it go down on you, my brother, when it go down on you, my sister, it's going to go down and you're going to go praying for God. God listen to you. He will forgive you, but it's a thing that called reaping and sowing. Reaping and sowing. If you sow to the flesh, you reap of the flesh. If you sow to the spirit, you reap of the spirit. So the best thing, my brother, and the best thing, my sister, is don't deal with multiple partners. Don't get serious with multiple partners. Don't lead on multiple partners. And that's where a lot of people get messed up at. You lead a person on. And what is the definition of a player? The definition, let me read it to you again. The definition of a player. It is defined as someone who fakes, that's the key word, someone who fakes a serious degree of romantic interest while often conducting several similar relationships. It's some other stuff going on simultaneously. It is deceptive and it is a part of manipulation. Brother, sister, from God's point of view, God does not want you to hurt yourself and your relationship with him first. If you are in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship with a man or woman, God does not want you to hurt that person. Because whatever you do, it'll affect God first before it affect the human being. Even though you might do it to a human being, it's still hurting God first. So, brother and sister, I have said this several times. The first documented case of cheating in a relationship, when everything was perfect, with Adam and Eve. Adam had a unique relationship with God before Eve. Eve had a perfect relationship with God before he brought her to Adam. When God brought Adam and Eve together, they collectively had a perfect relationship with God and one another. When Adam and Eve exercised their free will, they violated the relationship on a spiritual level with God. So by them violating their relationship with God, they also got penalized within their own union. Brother and sister, there's no case of a man successfully winning at being a player. Sister, there's no documentation of no woman being successful at being a player. Let me tell you, my brother and sister, about being a player. Brother, you may have been a player and it appears to you that you was winning. Sister, you may have been a player and it may seem like you was winning, but guess what? Some of those individuals, they was playing you and you didn't know it. You thought that you were getting over, brother, on some women. Some of you sister, you thought you were getting over on some men, but guess what? Some of them was playing you and you might not have knew it. Just like you didn't think they knew about you, a lot of times you didn't know about them. Sister Thomas said a problem came up when you are trying to get out of the soul tie with the man or woman won't let you go. What do you do? Now, that's a good question. Teresa said a problem come up when you are trying to get out of a relationship with a man or woman and they don't want you to go. Let me tell you this, it's tough. It's tough, my brothers. It's tough, my sister, when you be in a relationship with someone and you tell that man and woman that you want to end the relationship and the man or woman doesn't want to let you go. That's some real stuff. It's some real stuff and it happens. So, brother, let's say, for example, brother, let's say, for example, brother, you and your wife, you going through a divorce or you separated, okay? And you start dating another woman or women. Let's just narrow it down for one. And you go tell this woman, then you start talking to your wife and you all think about reconciling, right? So let's say that you go ahead and tell your wife, look, I was seeing someone else. And if she was seeing someone, she may tell you, she may not. But let's talk about you, brother. You being accountable for your own act. You got to understand it, brother. You were not completed in your divorce proceeding, right? Or you were separated, but you were still married to your wife. Now, let's say you reconcile. And what you're going to do about this other woman? You got to do something. So you go to this woman and you tell her that you and your wife going to get back together. You tell her that you and your wife going to get together, and she tell you no. Stuff like that happen. This woman could say no because she's so tied to you. How you doing, Brother Joe? Welcome to Tonight Dinner Table. Brother Joe says some people are in the end game of their life, want somebody to take their life. Yeah. So let me tell you, brother, there are some women that's not going to let you walk away without us getting a laceration. I'm trying to put it as nice as I can, a laceration. Some women not going to do it. They're not just going to let you walk away because they're soul tied to you. That's what happens. They get soul tied and they don't want it to end. And then on the flip side, some of you sisters, if you are married to a man and you're going through a divorce or you separated and you decide to reconcile and you tell this other guy and he might not say no, it's not going to go. Soul tie. So these type of people, they could really bring some havoc to your lives. Because one thing they're going to want your spouse to know what was going on. More than likely, they want your spouse to be one of the ones that know about it. And let me tell you this, brothers and sisters. Let's say if you get into a relationship with someone and you don't have no intent of leaving your spouse. You ain't got no intent. When I say leaving your spouse, I'm talking about at the house. You don't have no intent, but you doing your little stuff on the side. And then it's a game to you. But then this person's so tied to you and you want to pull away. Majority of the time, they're going to get the message to your spouse. When I said majority of the time, I'm not saying all time, so sisters, don't take this the wrong way. A lot of women will try to get your wife to know about them. And then there are some men that want, sisters, there are some men that want your husband to know about it. But majority of the time, not all the time, but majority of the time, most women, not all women, that's dealing with a man that's in a relationship, they want the wife to know about it if they get hurt, because they want him to hurt. You understand? They want him to hurt. Yeah, that's right, Teresa. That's an entanglement. And you see, what caused a lot of the entanglement, my brother and sister, is when a man and a woman, they start having sex with the other person. That's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people do not understand when a man and a woman have sex. It's not no plaything. Some people take sex as something casual. My brother and sister, there's nothing casual about sexual intercourse. That's why God specifically wants a man and a woman to have sex when they're married. Because God see the pitfall where that's going to happen. Even Paul made a statement. Paul say, will I take the temple of God? He was talking about his body. Because if you're saved, my brother and sister, this is what Paul was saying. Why would I take my temple and be with a harlot? And a harlot is a prostitute. Then Paul said, do you not know that if I get with a harlot, we are one? You see, my brother and sister, you got to understand this. When you have sex with someone, you become one with them. Some people will say it's a one-night stand, but you have done some stuff that you don't realize. That's why some people, you think that sex is casual. Even if you do something with someone one time, they become one with you. Brother and sister, don't you know a lot of people that you see right now, they're soul tied to so many people. They might not even think that they soul tied to somebody. And then there are some so deep into the soul tie that interfere with their other relationships. And they think about somebody else. That's right. Some men and women, they get married to other people, but they thinking about another man or woman. Because they still soul tied to someone. They could be soul tied to someone for years and years. They could be married and soul tied to someone. That person from the past could call them and text them, and then they'll make a way to see them. And majority of the time, it's going to lead to sex because they're familiar with one another. I'm going to tell you this, my brother and sister. Listen to what I'm saying. Everyone that you have had intercourse with, if you see that person on the street, that gonna come to your mind too. If you say it won't come to your mind, you lying. Everyone that you may have forgotten about some people, because some of you don't even know how many people you've done been with. But if you see that person, I'm telling you, one of the thoughts that's going to come to your mind that you was physical with that person. How you doing, mother? Welcome to the dinner table. You're going to know that you were physical with that person because it's not casual. Now, some of you think that men think they could be with a woman and their mind and their emotion is not there. That's true. They may think that their mind and emotion not there, and they think it's a physical thing, which could be true to them. But still, on a deeper and higher plane, brother, even if your mind and your emotion not tied to the woman, you become one with her. When that woman lets you into her body, y'all one. She got a piece of you, and you got a piece of her. Even when y'all disengage, y'all have exchanged energy. So she tied to you and you tied to her. Even though y'all can get up and do your own thing and don't think about it, you still tied to it. That's why some people, they have problems with other relationships and they don't understand why. Because you tied to someone and you forgot about that person, but that person's energy is still in you. And let me tell you then, my brother and sister, when you get somebody else's energy, it's going to become a part of your nature. It's going to become part of your nature. Like husband and wife, if you're dealing with someone on the outside, whether you know it or not, it's going to affect your relationship with your husband and wife if you're seeing someone on the outside. You may think it's not going to, that it's not going to fit. Yes, it is. Let me tell you why. Brother, if you get physically involved with another woman and you keep being physically involved with another woman, guess what? Now, and she might be more, how should I say this? She may be bringing it to you better than your wife. On a physical level, if she bringing it to you better than with your wife, and when you get with your wife, it's not going to be the same. You listen to what I'm saying, brother? If you get with another woman that do more creative things, so in your mind, it won't be the same with your wife, because you might want your wife to do the same thing. And if you try something different with your wife, she probably gonna wonder why you want to try this new thing with me. You know what I mean? And the same thing, too, sisters. You be with a man and he bring it to you what appear to be better on a physical level. And then you be with your husband. How you doing, my little sister Renee? Welcome to the dinner table. And you be with your husband. If that man would bring it to you what appear to be better than your husband, you're going to start thinking more about that man. But you see, you go ahead doing this with your husband because out of your obligation as being a wife. So by being a wife, you go ahead and do the physical part with your husband, but you're thinking with the other man. And let me tell you when it get real, real dangerous too. It get real, real dangerous when a woman have to close her eyes and think about that other man to enjoy the physical aspect of the relationship with her husband. How you doing, Sister Parker? When a woman closes her eyes, she done been with this other man. And she got feelings for this other man. So she with her husband on a physical level, right? So she got physical for this, she got feeling for the outside man. And not only that, she enjoyed the sexual experience with the other man. So she get with her husband. She get with her husband, and psychologically, she closed her eyes and think about that other man while she with her husband. Excuse me. So while she doing all these theatrics, moaning and all that kind of stuff, her husband think he's doing something, but it's not really him. It's this other man that she visualizing in her mind. And the same thing, a man, he with his wife, and he think about this other woman, and he doing all this stuff, and his wife thinking it's all about, and he telling his wife he love her, and he holding her tight and everything, but he closing his eyes, think about this other woman. A lot of that stuff going on when a man and woman dealing with people on the outside. Teresa, or calling the other man's name with the home. That's right. Stuff like that happened too. I'm glad you brought that up, Teresa. A name will slip. I'm going to tell you this to my brother and sister. Listen to this. Thank you, Teresa, for bringing it up. You might not even be physical with someone else. Sister, you may slip up and call your husband another man's name. His name is Mike, but you said Andre. Now, Andre is way different from Mike. And your husband saying, who is Andre? And you're going to try to play it off. Andre is the man that you were seeing, but you call your husband Andre. And then brothers, you and your wife talking. You and your wife talking. Her name is Mary, and y'all talking, and then you call her Betty. And she said, who is Betty? And then you're going to try to play it out. Betty is the woman that you're seeing. Most people that call them mate other people's name, they got twisted at that time. You understand? You got twisted at that time. It hurt. It would hurt if somebody called you brother or you sister by someone else's name and you're not in the bed. But if you're in the bed and calling somebody about another name, that's some real messed up stuff. That's why I'm telling you, brother, I'm telling you, sister, what does God think about multiple partners? He doesn't like it. Well, he let some people do it, and then there are some people over in the Middle East. They do all that stuff. That's the people in the Middle East. That's their culture. But when you look at it from God's point of view, I have given you some names, my brother and sister. I said David. I said Solomon. I said King David, King Solomon, and Samson. They were dealing with more than one woman. They had some severe problem they had to deal with. Then on the woman's side, Sarah and Hagar, Abraham woman, they bump heads. Leah and Rachel, jealousy, they bump heads. No man, sister, let me tell you this: if you the outside woman, and this man got a wife or a girlfriend, I'm telling you right now, you're not number one. You're not number one. You're not number one. You're not number one. Brother, if this woman is married to someone or she got a little boyfriend or something, you're not number one. Some of you outside people, y'all get hurt when a man or a woman cancel a date on you. If this man or woman is married or call themselves in a situationship and they cancel a date on you, why you get angry? You know that you're not number one. Some of you plan on going on trips with these people. You might be planning on going on a cruise with someone. You plan on going on a cruise with someone and they don't show up at the airport, but you there. And they tell you they can't make it, I'm sorry. And you get mad. Why you get mad? You know that man had a wife. You know that woman had a husband. You know that woman had a situationship. You know that man had a situationship. You know that man was separated. You know that woman was separated. Why are you getting angry? Why are you getting upset? You reaping what you sowing. Those of you that are part of a breakup of a relationship. If you part of a breakup, what I mean you part of a breakup, you did not make that man come out the house. You did not make that woman come out the house. But you fully well knew that that man and woman was attached to another relationship. And then they turn around and marry you. What make you think you're accepted to the rule? What make you think there's going to be loyalty? Let me tell you what happened in those relationships. I see it over and over again. Anytime a man leaves his wife for you, anytime a woman leaves her relationship for you, you're not, and you never will be an exception to the rule. Don't expect loyalty. Eventually, it's going to happen. What's going to happen? Brother, she's going to deal with somebody else beside you. Or others beside you. Sister, he's going to deal with someone or some others besides you. You're not going to get no loyalty. God is not in your relationship, period. For any man or any woman that you was part of a breakup and you plan on marrying that person once they left, do not think that God is a part of your relationship. He's not. God is not down with that mess. You can go have a church wedding all you want to, with all your friends, the bells and the whistles, all you want to. God is not there. But what's going to happen? I'm going to go to Proverbs 1:26 again. Proverbs 1:26. God say, I in turn will laugh when your disaster strike you. I will mourn when your calamity overtake you. So God is saying, when it go down, I'm going to laugh at you. That's right. God laughs at you. Some of you think God don't laugh. God telling you, I'm going to laugh at you. And then Proverbs 1:28. And then it said, they will call me, but I will not answer. They will look for me, but I will not find me. That's why a lot of people, they get on Facebook, Facebook and all the social media stuff, talk about what they husband or why they doing, but they don't tell you all how their relationship started. They don't tell you that they was part of a breakup. They don't tell you that they were sneaking in the dark with these people. They don't tell you that part. They tell you the present part, that he or she doing this to me, but they won't tell you the origin of the relationship. Because if you knew the whole story, you would say to my brother, and you would say to my sister, you reap what you sow. You just getting what you getting. So when a man or woman tell me stuff like that, when I find out the origin of the relationship, the only thing that probably gonna come to my mind is you reaping what you're sowing. Why are you going telling your family? Why are you going to tell your friends why this man or woman doing you wrong? You were doing another man or woman wrong when you were dealing with them. You're not going to escape if you do it. If you start the relationship out wrong, it's wrong. What did Jesus say? You could tell a tree by the fruit it bears. A good tree does not produce good fruit. A bad tree does not produce good fruit, and a good tree doesn't produce bad fruit. Whatever seed is planted, that's what's going to happen. The seed that you planted at the beginning of the relationship, my brothers and sisters, that's what you're going to get on the back end. It's called the law of sowing and reaping. God does not break that for no one. So before you get in a relationship, you better make sure you get into the relationship and it's clean at the beginning. But if you have full knowledge that it's not clean, if you have full knowledge that somebody else was there, don't look for loyalty. Brothers, let me tell you this. You know yourself that if you have more than one woman, one of them is your number one. We ain't talk about God at this time. We talk about women. Brother, if you have two women, one of them is number one. Sister, if you have two men, one of them is number one. Even though you're dealing with both of them, one of them have priority. If both of them was on the ship with you and somebody had to go, the insignificant one going to have to jump off the ship, off the boat. For weight purposes, got to go. Brother, you cannot please more than one woman at the same time. You cannot love more than one woman on the same level at one time. Sister, you cannot please more than one man at one time. Sister, you cannot love more than one man at one time. You were not equipped that way, brother. You're not equipped that way. It's always going to be rank and order. Even though King Solomon had 1,000 women, 700 of them wives, and 300 concubines and stuff, it was still one that was one. One of them seen King Solomon more than the others. I don't know what else I could say on that. I really don't. Michelle said, you certainly cannot please multiple people at one time. And then some of you sisters in the United States of America, you allow some of these guys to use religion to get more than one woman to stay with them. And you all know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to call the group out. It's some guys that they collect women in the United States of America. They collect women. And they got all these women. They say that the women they wife, they ain't got no type of documentation in the courts or nothing. They, for religious reasons, they said they their wives. But those same men don't want those same women to have other husbands. You see how backward that is? They don't want their wives to have husbands. But there's some groups that does this thing. It's a form of manipulation. It's selfish. And those same men know that they got more affection for one than the rest of them. Even though they may communicate with the other, they all may be in the same bed together and all that kind of stuff, is still one that's the apple of his eye. And sister, when a woman with more than one man is one that's the apple of his or her eye. I'm going to tell you this to my brother and sister. If you're dealing with a married person and they got problems in their home, you know what you are. You just a Band-Aid. That's all you are. That's all you are. Because if you notice this, if a man is married, sister, and he come to you talking about his wife or his significant other, and he come talk to you about it, and he give you this sob story, have you noticed that he go back to her? Have you noticed that he go back home? Have you noticed that? He go back home. Brother, have you noticed this when a woman come tell you about her husband or her significant other, her situationship? Have you ever noticed this? She go back home. But he's so terrible. But she go back home, right? Have you ever noticed that around holidays, a lot of times they be with their family? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed they may see you, they might squeeze you in, but have you noticed a lot of times they be with family first, unless they just got a messed up relationship. More than likely, they're going to play the family role. Yeah, that's right, Michelle. So they always go back home. Michelle said the relationship has to be with God and God alone. He will lead you and guide you. The Bible say, trust in the Lord in all thy heart, and he shall direct thy path. That's right. So let me tell you something, my brother and sister. Especially some of you sisters. Some of you sisters. I ain't talking about no worldly women. I'm talking about some of you sisters that doing this thing in the dog. You dealing with a man and you know he got a woman, right? He got a woman. And you know how you like those holidays, don't you? He be with his wife on holidays. And he might get to you at the end of the holiday, or he'll get you. He might do something if he got to keep up that family role. He got to take care of the wife and the children first before you. And you have to go to your relative house by yourself, unless he just don't care about his wife and his children, nothing. Then he end up with you and your family. But other than that, most of them, they're going to be with their family. The Ray Charles thing. You know the rules. You know the rule. I'm not leaving B. Most men and sisters, they're not going to leave their wives for you. They'll leave for a little while. They may spend a night with you every now and then, but they ain't overall. A lot of men, they invested into their marriage and stuff. And a lot of them, you just a standby. You just something to do. I got to be realistic. You just something to do. Even though he make it seem like he love you and everything, he's still with his wife. He's still with her. And the same thing, brother, she's still with him. Even though she come over there and wilding out with you, brother, she's still with him. And they do things together. Let me tell you this, brother and sister, when a man and woman come from their house from their spouses, don't let them always make it seem like everything is terrible there. Everything ain't all the way terrible. They still living with them. They still have some spark that they ain't gonna tell you about. But most of them want to run to you. You are a Band-Aid. That's what you are. You are a Band-Aid. You need to understand that. I hope you, brother and sister, you enjoyed this meal. I'm just trying to help you. What does God think about multiple partners? God, he allow you to exercise your free will, but he's not down with it. God prefer for a man and woman to be serious, commit, and in a covenant relationship, mono. That's what his preference is. Anything outside of that, that's your decision, brother. That's your decision, sister, because he still gave you a free will. Like he gave David, Solomon, and Samson, all them. He gave them a free will, but they had problems. It's documented. It's documented. There's nowhere in the Bible where a man had a whole bunch of wives and all that kind of stuff without problems in the house. And then if a woman dealing with more than one man, there's going to always be problems. It's never going to go smooth. 100% smooth. You may have what appear to be smooth. It can't be. Somebody going to always want more. Brother, if you decide to be in a relationship with a woman and you already in one and you go to, and you be straight up with this other woman, she may say that she understands. She may say it. But if she keep letting you touch her, she's going to get soul tied. The more time you invest in her and the more she allow you to touch, she guarantees she's going to get soul tied. The same thing, sister. If you keep letting that man touch you and giving you money and stuff, this man giving you money, not your husband. This other man giving you money and all that kind of stuff. And then he's sleeping with you. Don't you think that man going to get soul tied to you too? And then you want to break it off? Somebody gonna get hurt to the point where you're gonna be pushing up daisies. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. I hope that you all got something out of this. I hope that I can help you. I'm not no exception to the rule, brothers. I'm not no exception to the rule, sisters. The same thing that I'm talking about, it could happen to me too if I decide to do it. And I'm doing all this talk, right? I'm doing all this talk, but it goes to me too. If I decide to do this, it still could go down on me too. Okay? I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. You all, I hope that you enjoyed this meal. Those of you that are on the book, I would like for you to share and make a comment. You could do one of them. And those of you that are on the tube, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe, like, and share, and make comment. You could do one of them. Okay? I hope that you enjoyed the dinner. Go ahead and take some of this extra food with you and share with other family members and friends so they can get some of this good soul food. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. I'm going to clean up the kitchen, so you ain't got to worry about no dishes. Just go ahead and get your plate and go home. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Peace out.